What's up, guys? My name is Gabe, and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. So, it's Sunday morning, January 4th, and the USC DC search is continuing on. And if you've been on social media the last few days, boy, oh boy, is there a lot of noise around this search. There's a ton of it. So, this video is going to be more just conversational. I don't have anything written down, no notes, nothing. Just going to sit here and talk and give you my thoughts. But guys, before we do that, of course, if you are enjoying the videos, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And please do consider becoming a channel member or a member over on the Trojan Blade Patreon. Both are linked down below in the description. And both of those platforms allow me to do this full time. Your support over there means so much. All right, but talking about the DC search. And visually, I don't know what I'm going to put on screen for this video, but I'm sure someone's going to leave a comment down below like, why can't you put relevant footage on the screen? Guys, I don't have 10 minutes of Pete Kwiatkowski and Eric Henderson B-roll. No one does. That does not exist. But getting into the actual meat of this video, there seem to be two paths forward for USC in terms of the defensive coordinator. Both come with their own pros and cons. On one hand, you hire Pete Kwiatkowski, you get an elite, proven defensive coordinator who's been on the biggest stages this sport has to offer. A guy that's one of the best at what he does in the entire sport, and that's been proven year over year. But the negative with that, you're probably going to lose some coaches, including defensive line coach Eric Henderson. Again, just an assumption, but based on what's being reported, that sounds likely. And if you do end up losing Sean Nua and Eric Henderson and Doug Belk, you're going to lose a lot of key players. A lot of them. Is that something USC can afford to do heading into this critical 2026 season where if we underperform, Lincoln Riley's gone? You get the elite coaching, but you lose the high-end talent. Tricky spot to be in. Or there's the other hand, you promote Eric Henderson to be your defensive coordinator, and you have a guy that has literally zero experience being a coordinator and calling plays, especially at this level. You have massive uncertainty just around your coaching staff. The downgrade from a proven Pete Kwiatkowski to an Eric Henderson is likely very, very large, but you get to keep those players. So what do we do? What are my thoughts on it? Before I go any further, make sure you guys leave your comments down below. As soon as this video is live, I'm going to be down there reading what you guys have to say. For me, and let me preface this by saying Eric Henderson could turn out to be a great defensive coordinator one day, 100%. But in terms of what we need for 2026, if we promote Eric Henderson, we're not a serious program. I'm sorry to be that blunt, but that's just the honest to God truth. In the most critical year of USC football in some time, with the coach's job completely and publicly on the line, with that insane schedule we have, now is not the time to be giving guys jobs because we want to keep players. That's not what serious programs do. That's what desperate programs do. And I'm sorry to say this too. If players are only here because of a position coach, then you wonder why we have so many opt-outs in the bowl game. All this talk of culture and turning the program around in that sense is completely false then. I trust Pete Kwiatkowski more with 3 to 4 star talent as a DC than I would with Eric Henderson with 5-star talent. And in a perfect world, you have Pete as the DC and Eric stays on the staff. That would be an absolute home run. It's the best of both worlds. That's what I hope happens, but just based on all the dialogue around the program, it sounds like that's not an option. And man, we were staring down the barrel of having an offseason of continuity, of building, of development, and D'Anton Lynn leaving threw a grenade into the middle of all of it and just blew it up. And this is just so USC. The fact that this DC search is still going on, all the drama around it, the players publicly tweeting in support of Eric Henderson, which is totally fine. I get that they love their coach, but the players don't make the decision. The players don't run the program, and if they're going to leave because we hire an elite defensive coordinator, then to me, that says a lot about who those players are and what they're actually in the game for. Choosing to not play for an elite defensive coordinator at a big school like USC that you're already at because the guy you wanted to get hired didn't, I mean, come on. As much as I think giving Coach Henderson the DC job is an unserious move, that's an unserious move for the players in itself. Also, Devin Tompkins tweeting that Coach Henny should be the DC. If we're listening to players' opinions that are in the portal trying to leave the program, then we have a really big issue on our hands. Now, what do I think is going to happen? I think common sense is going to prevail. I don't think we're going to make the emotional, immature move in giving Coach Henny the job because, guys, quite frankly, he's not qualified for it. That's too big of a swing. That's too big of a risk. There's too much on the line in 2026. Look around the country at schools like Ohio State, Texas even, Alabama, Indiana. Is this a move that any of those coaches would make? No, it's a move that Dabo Swinney would make because he's very emotional. He's all about loyalty, promoting from within, and look where that's gotten him. No, we need to use our brains. We need to use common sense. Hire the proven guy that's done this at an elite level for a long, long time. It can't be this hard. The fact that it's Sunday, January 4th, and this search is going on, it's very, very frustrating. In that same breath, if we get Coach Pete, it was worth the wait. Coming out of this whole situation with a massive upgrade over D'Anton Lynn at DC is a home run, plain and simple. And one more thing I'll add on, I've been talking to a ton of fans over the past few days on my Discord, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on here on YouTube. I mean, the amount of comments I've gotten of people saying, if Coach Henny's the DC, I'm just going to check out because we're unserious. I mean, I have to believe that Chad Bowden, Jen Cohen, Lincoln Riley, that they have enough common sense, that they have enough reading on the fan base to know that that's not a move you can make right now. And again, I think Coach Henderson's a pretty good defensive line coach, and he's an elite ace recruiter. He can and probably will be a very good DC one day, but I don't think that day is in 2026, not at USC anyway. PK is right there for the taking, right there for the hiring. That defense mixed with the Lincoln Riley offense, a guy that's been around long enough that he could run it just by himself. He doesn't need to have a head over his shoulder. He can be fully trusted to run the defense and let Lincoln do what he does best, and that's obviously on the offensive side of the ball. This is our best chance going forward. Even if we promote Coach Henny, and he has a pretty good year as DC, the process in getting there is so emotional and so flawed. I just can't agree with that decision at all. The answer has always been PK. The answer will always be PK. And there's no way around that, in my opinion. And again, guys, if that happens, if PK is the DC and Coach Henny decides to leave, which I don't think he should do, I think if this USC defense has a big year and you're still on staff, you're going to be in line for a DC job somewhere. But players are going to leave if that scenario happens. It is what it is. It sucks to lose that talent, but I would much rather have a high-quality defensive coordinator that can get more out of the guys on the roster who actually want to be here. Because again, if guys are willing to leave because of that, the buy-in isn't there to begin with, and then that starts to explain why we had so many more opt-outs than all of our peers. So, a messy situation, a very USC situation. Again, that offseason of continuity, man, it was right there for the taking, and D'Anton Lynn just had to blow it all up and go to Penn State. But let's get Coach PK in here. Let's build this portal class. Let's do the smart and sensible thing. Guys, of course, if you haven't, leave me a comment down below. As soon as this video is live, I'm going to be down there in the comment section reading what all of you have to say. This is a crazy discussion. People on both sides of the aisle. Where do you fall? Please do let me know. Also, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate you guys being here. You're all awesome. And as always, take care and fight on.